ask that you unlock your hearts to us, Lord God. You reveal and unveil your presence. Lord, you help us to understand your will for our lives. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. All right, so for most of these you guys already have. We already discussed 1 through 4. As you can see, I added 5 now. So this is the one we're going to be talking about today. Write this down. It says, what you build, you must protect. Suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. What you build, you must protect. Suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. What do you think that means? What do you think that means? In terms of faith, in terms of God, in terms of like our relationship, what do you think that means?
Like what you do has like consequences.
Okay, what you do has consequences. Make sure you speak loud. What you do has consequences. All right. What else? What else do you think that means? What do you think it means?
Like work hard to build up stuff and take discipline. It'll be hard, but if you don't do it, later you'll regret it.
Okay. All right. What do you think it means? Okay, so you have to do a good job to stay in line. If you don't, then it'll fall. All right, what else? Give me one more. Yeah,
Don't let discipline bring you down.
don't let discipline bring you down. All right. So what if I told you that this pain of discipline is not a bad thing? Right? So what? And what if I told you this pain of regret is what we often experience in life? So let me word it like this. What you build, you must protect. Suffer the pain of discipline or the pain of regret. Suffer the pain of listening to God. Right? Listening to God requires discipline. Because there's going to be certain things that God tells you not to do. Hey, don't date this person. Don't be in a relationship with this person. Don't go there. Don't move there. Don't do this. There's a certain level of discipline you have to have in order to listen. What if we don't? We've all been on the pain of regret. Right? Like, I knew I shouldn't have did that. Right? Something told me I shouldn't have did that. Something told me I should have never started talking to this person. Something told me I should have never been this person's friend. Something told me I should have never been in a relationship with this person. Right? That little voice, that's God. Right? I had it worded to me like this. Because of the calling over your life, some people can, you cannot. So because of the blessings God has for you, sometimes you're not going to be able to do the things that everybody else gets to do. Right? Now let's focus back on Abraham and his wife. So let's fast forward 25 years. He finally has a son. It's like 100 and some change. His wife is 100. He's like 100 and some change by the time he has a son. Right? How many of you guys would have waited 25 years for something that God promised you? Raise your hand if you would have waited. How many of you guys can't wait 5 minutes for something that your parents promised you? It's okay, raise your hand. Raise your hand. Right? It's like if your parents say, I'm going to get you that, but you got to wait. How many of y'all like, how long? Right? So I guess the first question I want to ask you guys, and I want you to write this down, and I want you to think about this for the entire message. Does your faith come with conditions? Does your faith come with conditions? Right? Because oftentimes, especially for us as humans, as individuals, right? Our faith is mirrored with proof of outcome. We want to know what's going to happen, right? None of you guys raised your hand when I said, would you just walk without knowing the destination? No, right? Y'all wouldn't do it. Wouldn't happen. right? We always want proof of outcomes. We always want to know, where am I going? What am I going to get when I get there? How long do I have to wait? We always ask these questions, right? As people, we don't have patience. It's super hard for us to have patience. We just can't do it. We always want proof of outcome. But that goes against what faith is. Because faith is doing the things without the proof of outcome. Faith is going in the direction God told you to go in without him actually telling you the destination. Faith is trusting that God is going to give you what he promised without actually telling you the date. You get it? All right. So, but what was the title of the scripture I just read?
Abraham's faith tested.
Say it louder.
Abraham's faith tested.
Abraham's faith tested. How many of us have taken a test? Whatever. You guys take tests all the time, right? All right. So, what do you do for a test? If your teacher comes in, let's just say math. Math class, your teacher comes in, it says, yo, you got a test at the end of the week. What essentially do you do until the test?
Study.
Say it louder.
Study.
Study. Right? You study for the test so that you can be prepared for the test, right? So what does study look like in faith? How do you study faith? What does study look like in faith? What can you do? Right? If you knew God was going to test you, how could you study?
Pray.
Pray. What else? What else? Prayer. What else? What else could you do? That one? Say it louder. Read the Bible. What else could you do? You was going to say read the Bible? All right. Read the Bible. Pray. What else could you do? What else? It starts with an L. Say it. Say it louder. Listen. Right? Because most of the time, the teacher is going to go over things that are going to be on the test. Right? So God may essentially go over things that he may test you on in the future. Hey, he put him through one test. Right? I promised you a son. I never told you when I would give it to you, but I did promise it to you. That was his first test, and he failed horribly. Like, got an F, 0, like no questions right. Did everything wrong. Couldn't discipline himself just to wait, so him and his wife regretted that decision. Right? So now what I'll ask you is, going back to the first question I asked you, is how much do you study for your test? Because you never know when the test is coming. And it's a reoccurring theme in the Old Testament. He doesn't just do it to Abraham. Right? This God testing your faith is a reoccurring theme in the Old Testament. It's like a movie with different characters. He does it with a bunch of people, but we're just talking about Abraham. Right? And in that, in being tested, there's a certain level of listening. Right? But what was Abraham's response when God told him what to do? Let's read back through it. It says, sometime later, God tested Abraham. He said to him, Abraham. Abraham said, here I am. Then God said, take your son, your only son, whom you love, Isaac, and go to the region of Moriah. Sacrifice him there as a burnt offering on a mountain I will show you. Early the next morning, Abraham got up and loaded up his donkey. So Abraham didn't even respond. Instead of him responding verbally, Abraham responded with action. I'm just going to get up and do what God asked me to do. Right? It wasn't no, run that back again. You want me to do what? All right. Say your parents, you've been begging your parents for the new iPhone that just came out. What is it, 13? 13, right? You've been begging your parents, please give me an iPhone 13. Please give me the iPhone 13. So you've been asking for like a month, and Finally, after a month, they walk in, boom, brand new, iPhone 13, handed to you. Flip open the box, everything is working great, it's popping. You get on the phone for like a week, and then they walk over to you like, let me get that back. Raise your hand. How many people here? What kind of question would you ask? Say it louder. Why? What else?
Was it pre-rented?
Was it pre-rented? Okay, what else?
What did I do?
What did you do? Okay, what else? How do you get it back? Okay. What else would you ask?
When do I get it back?
When do you get it back? Okay. How do you get it back? When do you get it back? What else would you ask?
How long is it gone for?
How long is it gone for, right? Huh?
Can I have it back?
Can I have it back? Now you're asking if you can have it back? Right? Because as people, we're inquisitive, right? We need to know. Goes back to what I said at the top. We need proof of outcome. If you're going to take this thing from me, I need to know if I can get it back, when I can get it back, what do I need to do to get it back? Abraham said none of that. Think about it. God wasn't talking about no cell phone. Abraham said, look, the child I promised you that you waited 25 years for, I want you now to go kill him. Sacrifice him to me. And Abraham said nothing. He didn't ask why, which is essentially what most of us would have asked. He didn't ask why. He didn't ask, really? Right? So let's just say, I want you to write this down. God's test will always reveal your level of faith. God's test will always reveal your level of faith. Right? God's test will always reveal your level of faith. So where are you at? Are you still, you haven't been studying, so you keep getting things wrong? You keep asking the questions that everybody asks? Are you at the point where you're like Abraham? Where, hey, any test, I'm good. I ain't asking no questions. I just do whatever you ask me to do. I ain't there yet. I still ask questions. I'm not gonna lie. I still ask questions. I may not ask a lot of questions, but I still ask. Because essentially, we're all human. We all want to know why. I'm gonna just go around. Would you do it? You wouldn't be able to? Okay. Would you do it, G? No? Can't do it? No? Not right now? Copy. On the fence, you don't know? 50-50?
I mean, usually all the art teachers, my art teachers always smell like cigarettes. But probably not. I don't think so.
You don't think so? It doesn't necessarily have to be art. That was an example, but I see where your head's at. You already said you would. No? You couldn't do it? No? You could. Absolutely. Drop it right in a second. No? 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 Ooh. So we got a lot of stuff still circles and a lot of things not crossed out. Right? Why is that so important? I'll go back around. Like, why is that thing so important? Huh? You like doing it, okay. Why is that so important? Yeah, like whatever that thing is. We just talk about sports right now or whatever, but why is that so important? It's a daily occurrence? Got it. Why?
Spend most time doing it.
You spend most of your time doing it. You enjoy it.
It'll help you in the future.
It'll help you in the future.
It makes me happy.
It makes you happy.
Yeah, it'll probably help you.
It'll help you in the future. You don't know? What's your favorite thing to do? Huh? People you meet? Like, why is that thing so important? It's not important to you because you said you would give it up. Why is it so important? You love it. So why did none of us give the same answer about God? It doesn't make you happy? It can't change your future. You can't meet people doing it. You can't be with God every day. You can't enjoy what God has for you. Because all of the things you guys named could be taken away from you tomorrow. Right? God forbid COVID happens again. Nobody playing no sports. Then what? What happens if you have a freak accident, get injured? Your season's over anyway. But this is the one thing you couldn't give up. The one thing that you put in front of God. And it's something so easily taken away from you. Just think about it. This is essentially why he tested Abraham. I know you love this thing. I know you find joy in this thing. I know it makes you happy. But I shouldn't be in competition with anything. God shouldn't be in competition with anything. It's God first, everything else afterwards. When you start changing your perspective about your relationship with God, your perspective on life will change.